All right, guys, what is going on? This is Mike here with Chitty's World here on Chit Chat Wrestling, the first episode here of Chit Chat Wrestling. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to be talking about ECW, kind of how it first became a part of our lives and what we thought about it and how it impacted our lives as well, too. I say ours because today I got a special guest here, a guy that's been one of my best friends since we were kids. We grew up watching wrestling together. We freaking got into wrestling together even. We have wrestled each other tons of places, city to city, different shows, different promotions, wherever you want to have it, backyard, in the ring, living room. And we're going to talk about that in just a second here too. So with that being said though, guys, I have always known him as Kevin with a Y, but today the wrestling world knows him as Mr. Extreme Mick Wiqied. Welcome on into the Chit Chat Wrestling podcast, sir.
How's it going?
What is going on?
Not much. Just got done watching some basketball.
Hell yeah, some WNBA. So,
yeah.
And it's crazy because you and I, we act like we don't talk. We talk every day.
Oh yeah.
And we at least talk about wrestling once a day.
Oh yeah.
But we're all.
I mean, when NXT is good.
Yeah, for sure, man. So today I just wanted to. ECW is it's growing more and more and more, and I say that because we just had Paul Heyman get inducted to the Hall of Fame. So we have new ECW merch on the website. We have just the Dudley Boys, Terry Funk, all being in the new WWE 2K24 game. It's crazy because we grew up with the ECW, but now it's like they're starting to introduce it to the new generation here.
I'm not quite sure. RF video? Was it RF video? Or was that? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to get into that, but you're right. I'm just glad you remember it. Damn, that impresses me. Hell yeah.
I'm surprised I remembered it too. Ask you. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. I just want to talk about that here today. I want to talk about how ECW kind of influenced us and more so both of us as, getting into wrestling and stuff. But even prior to that, back then it was just WWE, WCW. And of course, ECW just brought something completely different and changed the landscape of everything, including WWE when they got into the Attitude Era and such as well, too. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Not really sure if you want me to say like Paulie and all them, or like King being in there, and like he was the one that kind of brought that in, like he was into that, right? Yeah,
he kind of brought ECW over into the WWE or WWF back in the day, whatever you want to call it. Right. And I remember when all that happened, they jumped the barricade and all that whole Monday Night Raw in the Manhattan Center. It was absolutely
off the Raw sign.
Yeah, absolutely. It was insane. But with that being said, though, I just want to talk about how that influences, like I said, in the ring as well too. I mean, not only me but yourself with all the hardcore. I'm going to show some footage here of Mick Wiqied wrestling. And just showing you guys, like, ECW is a huge part of us, and more so him than anything with the hardcore style that they brought.
Yeah, because, my name was Mick Wiqied, and so, Mick Foley.
Yeah, and then
that's
Mr. Extreme.
Why I named my first name. My wrestling name was Mick. And then, Wicked was just a Deftone song, but yeah, no, I just fell for I don't know, I love the hardcore stuff. Right,
and just name Mr. Extreme. So with that being said, though, let's talk about it. So before our day, for the days of the internet and everything else, which I miss. But with that being said, though, maybe you know this. Let's see if you know. How did we get our wrestling news back in the day?
Oh. IPW or IPW,
like wrestling news. Like how do we get like our pro wrestling news?
Well, the magazines.
There you go.
And we go to I just said it earlier. What the heck?
Well, I mean, first things first, right here. You nailed it first time. First magazines do. So this is a copy of like Pro Wrestling Illustrated We had things like the wrestler. We had we had Wrestle America.
Oh goodness.
We had Wrestling All Stars.
God, where'd you get all those?
I have
all those?
I have tons of magazines, all the Raw ones and everything. They're like Inside Wrestling magazine. So back in the day, this is how we were kept up to date with pro wrestling, especially things outside of the WCW and WWF world.
But you remember my dad? He had the dial-up internet when no one else had that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we would go record
the music themes,
our music, our theme music,
and it was, and a lot of times it was ECW theme music. Remember?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Dude, that was a good time. We recorded on the tape.
Yeah, definitely the wrestling magazines.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and with that being said, and we're going to get into that here, but like the first time I was introduced to ECW, I don't know if you remember Shane. He lived next door to my aunt over across the alley from me in that brick house, that red brick house, like Shane and Heather and all them guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Shane used to play outside with his wrestling figures, and so did I. And I was over there one day, and like we're playing. He had like little GI Joes that he was using. And he's like, "Oh, this is the Sandman." And I was like, "This is Raven." I'm like, "Who?" And then he's like, "This is Shane Douglas." Well, I knew Shane Douglas, obviously from WCW and from Dean Douglas and WWF and such. But he's like naming off all these people. I'm like, "Who the hell are you talking about? Who is that?" And he's like, "Oh, they're part of this company called ECW." And I'm like, how's this kid even know that? Well, the magazines, first of all, and PWI, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, had like this little thing in here, and they're called like the PWI like ranking.
Yeah.
You can see it right here. There's ECW, and it had like all the names. Like it's on this side over here.
Do they still do that?
I don't even know. They still make PWI magazines, by the way, but I don't know if they have the rankings. But in the rankings, it would say like Terry Funk, Raven, Shane Douglas, Stevie Richards, Taz, Sabu, yada yada yada. And name off a bunch of stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. So I started reading them in the magazines, and then I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. And then like, okay, right here, here's a prime example. There's a whole article on like just ECW in this. But regardless though, I remember I was flipping through the magazine and I saw an advertisement for RF video. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, it had like a listing of like all the ECW tapes, and it had some like merchandise and stuff. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to order a tape. So I ended up ordering just one single tape. Well, my grandma did, but and they came in like a manila. I remember it came like in a manila envelope with like a little padding around it. I opened it up, and literally, this is what was inside. It was a 6-hour tape. This is it. This is an original one. I have a ton of these RF videos, but this right here was 6 hours. Well, this is ECW's November to Remember,
and it was shitty ass like someone videotaping it, right? Like just like a camcorder.
There was a fan cam that had that, yes.
Oh yeah, fan cam. Yep.
Yeah, but this here was an actual like a tape from the TV, like recorded from the TV. It was like 6 hours of wrestling of ECW. And like I said, this is what it looked like. And I got the tape in the mail. I popped it in, and dude, I was like mind fucked. Like from that point on, like I was like, what is this? Like, what am I watching? And I was just like, holy crap! There's tables, there's barbed wire, there's blood, there's canes, there's people coming out of the fans with a cane and a beer,
throwing wrestlers into crowd.
Yeah, and like pulling up people's like the girls like dresses and revealing their ass and like all this stuff. I was like, what am I watching? Girls kissing, which we didn't see back in the day. And I was like, what the hell are we watching?
Well, yeah, we were only like
13, 14.
13, yeah, I was gonna say 14, but yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were young.
Like girls making out. We were probably still watching Power Rangers.
Right. So this is all new to us. And anyways, I remember watching it, and I was just blown away. And it's crazy because in order to be able to get these, and I ended up getting like one of those RF video. I don't know if you remember this. I had like the RF video catalog.
Yes, I do. I remember all that shit.
It was like, do you remember? It was just like there's some pictures in it of like the merch, but it was mainly just like pages and pages of like telling you what matches are on each tape.
Yeah. Never. Yeah.
Then you would order. You'd send in. You just had to send in the mail. The order form in the mail because there was no online order. So you had to send like a check or something, send it in, and then they send you the video.
So Maryland basically wrote a check and Send it in.
Right, yeah. Grandma took care of me. But and I remember I ordered after we watched it, I ordered the infamous Raven quote the Raven Nevermore T-shirt, which ended up going around to
God, you wore that fucker every day
until we passed it around to all our friends. I remember like Ben wore it,
yeah.
Barth wore it, Fladlin wore it,
Baccaravy.
You probably wore it too, and
yeah, I'm sure. And then what? So it got stolen, right?
I was just gonna say it made its way around, and then it never got back to me.
I remember you, but like we did that backyard and like your in your grandma's house, and they had the trailer full of wood.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. And you had that on the first time, and you power drive me or you tombstone me onto that. I think you were wearing that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I was wearing that. I was literally dressed like Raven. I was literally trying to copy what Raven was, how he was.
You have a flannel wrapped around your.
I did.
Waist?
Yeah, I had the flannel wrapped around my waist and everything, and I even did the Raven, like quote the Raven thing and whatever, and
arms spread out.
Yeah, all that stuff. So,
God, you should show that video on here.
Right, I should. But yeah, so with that being said, though, I mean that's we kind of got into ECW then, but then we ended up of course it was crazy because like we couldn't watch it live, but I remember. It was on the Sunshine Network. So if you had like a satellite or like you could get it, and Barth had a satellite, and he would record episodes for me.
Well, speaking of like Ben and Josh, we went the day. I think you might have been there, but we were watching one live on that Sunshine, and we were wrestling around in his living room. And his dad came in there and yelled at us, "You guys don't do this shit when you're at your house."
Yeah, I do remember that. Oh, wow.
We're like, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do this plus a lot more. I do remember that. Oh, my God.
God, you were there. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I remember it. Because I think we were getting ready to watch, because we went over there to watch ECW November to Remember 97.
Yeah.
We all went there and watched it as that bar. Yeah, I remember watching it.
I think we got to, did we? Because his dad probably kicked his ass out.
No, we watched it. We ended up watching it.
Well, I think we got pretty rowdy, though.
We did, yeah. But with that being said, though, like I mentioned, of course, Ninja Turtles. Why would I not like that? But I remember we were because ECW was on at 2:00 in the morning. For some reason, it was on ESPN. I remember.
Really?
Yeah, or it was like it was.
I remember that.
It was ESPN or something. I can't remember what station it was, but for a while there, it was on like at 2 a.m. because they would show. Like I remember the episodes was. You might not remember this, but it was just. It was when they're in the Pittsburgh Golden Dome because Shane Douglas's hometown, and it was like it was on there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it just went away. And then I remember because I recorded, and I have like a tape in there. So
was it like a weekly show, or was it just like a pay-per-view or what?
Yeah, it was a weekly show, and it was on like 2 a.m, like on like Friday or Saturday night. I can't remember, but it only lasted for a very short time. And then it just kind of it went away, and then of course it's back to not being able to see it again. So,
and you got that recorded?
Yeah, I still have it. Yeah, because I recorded like 2 or 3 weeks of it, and then it was just gone.
Freaking everything,
dude! I recorded all. Remember, I used to record like all the Raws.
Oh Jesus! You had the whole bookcase full of them.
Yeah, I had like 3 or 4 years worth. But yeah, with that being said, though, as far as that kind of what got us into ECW, and we started watching it and so forth, and it was just completely different. I mean, the crowd. You had Hat Guy in the front row. Remember him? The guy with the straw hat.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the dude that
every single show.
Yeah. Then the dude that looked like Crush. He was always in the front row. Oh man, but it was just crazy because.
The straw hat guy wasn't the dude with the sign every time. Like he still comes to like shows and everything, and they point him out sometimes.
Oh, that's not him. Yeah, I haven't seen that guy forever. Well, there's Vladimir. Vladimir, he's still there once in a while, and then of course there's the red hat guy, and then there's the smiley shirt dude with the green smiley shirt that sits in the front row all the time. But But hat guy. But either way, though, the fans was what kind of helped make ECW. And that's kind of, and we can always talk another time about like how ECW is like portrayed later on with the WWE ECW when they brought that back. I mean, One Night Stand was cool. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I watched it on your computer.
Yep. And then there was One Night Stand was awesome. And then they resurrected ECW. But like I said, we'll get into that later on, in a different episode or something like that. But it was nothing the same. And I don't even like watching, like, because you can currently go on like Peacock and you can watch like the episodes of ECW Hardcore TV and all the events and stuff. But it's not the same because number one, the fans, they cut out all the chants. So like, it sounds like crap. It's just like cuts in and out all the time because, of course, ECW had a lot of crazy chants. And they cut out a lot of the violence.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And they cut out a lot of the violence, like when they like the headshots and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Really?
I think they cut it out. They do like the whole pausing thing.
Oh, yes. You're right. And then they turn it into black and white.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, with the blood and the black and white. So,
yeah.
Just ruins it. And then most importantly though, they freaking cut out the music. Like, of course, in ECW you had like Enter Sandman, you had like Natural Born Killers, you had Offspring come out and play and then Man the Box for Tommy Dreamer, Highway to Hell for the Dudleys. But either way though, you had all that crazy music. And then so now when they come out on the network or Peacock, whatever it is, you don't have that experience. So I don't even like watching it there. I'd much rather just hook my VCR up and watch old tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I do have a VCR still, by the way.
Yeah, well, my mom has a VCR. Come over and watch some old ECW with us.
Pick some ECW. But ECW, though. Like, how did you get into ECW?
ECW?
Yeah, not wrestling.
I thought you meant, how did I get into wrestling?
No, I knew you've been wrestling a long time, but ECW, was that through...
Oh, well, when I was coming over to your house and we were getting those
RF video, yeah.
Yeah. And we'd watch that. And we'd sit there and watch those shit. And then, Foley came in there and I was just like, holy shit, this dude's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was just, yeah.
I think that's what...
Hooked. I mean, everything was crazy. They're lighting tables on fire, fucking using barbed wire for ropes instead of, regular ring ropes.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Yeah, exactly like you were saying earlier. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Right. A completely different world. But okay, so we got an ECW at the same time. So...
well, I mean, you probably saw it before but you probably introduced it to me. But I mean, pretty much when you got the tape.
But yeah, so much so that we would actually, when we used to wrestle in the living room, in the back room there at my grandma's house, we used to make ECW. Remember, I had ECW tapes, and we'd like use like styrofoam for tables, like big styrofoam sheets.
Yeah,
just destroy those that my grandpa probably had for construction.
Well, yeah. Then we would go on to use all this drywall.
Oh, the drywall! Oh my god, I remember that. Yeah.
I had braces then that one time, and David
powerbombed you.
I don't know what the hell he did.
He powerbombed you. Oh, he did like
he rolled on me. And
he rolled on you, yeah.
Knocked half my braces off.
Yeah, I do remember that. But yeah, we were doing we had like little shows. I had those tapes still too. They were called like ECW, and like we were like the ECW guys. Like I was Raven, Tommy Dreamer, and
we would have to fight over who we would get to be.
Right, I want to be Shane Douglas. I do.
No, I want to be Cactus Jack.
Oh yeah,
Cactus Jack. Nope, right. I'm Cactus Jack. Nope.
I do remember that.
Cactus Jack's my boy.
Oh man, such good times. But all right, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end it off here because like I said, I just want to talk about ECW and how it meant to us. And then, as I end this video here, really quick, what did ECW? I know with wrestling and stuff, but what did ECW mean to you?
Well, I mean, it gave me like what I did the whole 13, 14 years I did it. I was just copying all the shit they did.
Absolutely. As I just showed you earlier, this is kind of the general concept of what we end up bringing up, into what we end up doing with MXWA is pretty much based off of the ECW hardcore wrestling and the crowd base and everything too. So
we literally stole a roll of barbed wire from a hardware store.
Oh my god, I remember that.
So that I could make a barbed wire board.
Yeah, there's some thumbtacks right there. I absolutely remember all that.
Dollar store every day. Oh, that's a concussion right there. Yep.
Yeah, indeed.
Dollar store and buy like 15 little packs of dollar thumbtacks.
Yep, I remember that too.
They were thumbtacks. They weren't little stickers like everyone told me in high school.
Right. No, they were real. They stuck in you.
They're just stickers.
Hell yeah, man.
I had to pull a couple out of the back of my head a couple times, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to pull them out of your head quite a few times. Pick them out of your head. Good times, man. Good times.
I don't walk anymore.
Yeah, no doubt. It's hard to get out of bed, right?
Every time I wake up, I stretch my legs and go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
It is. All right.
All right, man. Well,
you let me know next time. We'll give another chat.
all right, man. Yeah, we'll talk about more ECW stuff and like just other stuff too here. I'll let you know, but I appreciate you hanging out with me and talking ECW with me, man. I'm sure I'll be talking to you in the group chat. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Have a good one, dude.
Heart videos.
All right. Have a good one, man.
Later.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Talk a little about ECW and kind of what it meant to us, how I first got into ECW. With that being said, though, let me know down below. And big thank you, by the way, to Mick Wiqied, aka my buddy Kevin, for coming on here and hanging out and talking wrestling. Dudes, like I said, I've known him since we were kids, and we've wrestled together and done a lot of stuff together. So with that being said, let me know down below what your first memory was of ECW. How did you get into ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling here? And let me know, like I said, down in the comment section, because I'm always curious to see what you guys got to think. So make sure you guys like this video if you choose to. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on that bell notification to keep up with all things here on Chitty's World. And as always, guys, we'll see you on the next one.